Breaking news. Welcome to La Free's Concept TV. Nnamdi Kanu taunts Biafrans with bombshell statement. Refuses to accept conditions for his release. Nnamdi Kanu taunts Biafrans with bombshell statement. Refuses to accept conditions for his release. To my dear listeners, before I go into details, please ensure you like, subscribe, and share. Aloy Ejimako, the principal legal representative for Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB), has unequivocally denied recent reports claiming that Kanu agreed to adhere to any conditions for his release. Ejimako emphasized that Kanu will only comply with the specific terms that are negotiated for his release. This statement was made following a routine legal meeting with Kanu, who is currently detained by the Department of State Services (DSS) in Abuja. The clarification came in response to comments made by Abia South Senator Nayal Abaribe. Abaribe had earlier indicated that Kanu was prepared to comply with any conditions stipulated by the federal government, led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to secure his release from DSS custody. These remarks were reportedly made during a private meeting involving Southeast senators and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi. Approximately 15 federal lawmakers, led by Senator Abaribe, participated in this closed-door session. Following the meeting, Abaribe conveyed his colleagues' optimism, suggesting that the Attorney General might persuade the federal government to facilitate Kanu's release. However, Ejimako, in an interview with Daily Post, firmly rebutted these claims. He stated, "The legal team met with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. The news that he will abide by any conditions for his release is incorrect. What was meant is that he will abide by the negotiated terms of his release and on other matters related thereto, such as was also agreed in August 2017. Ejimako's clarification underscores the importance of negotiated agreement in the context of Kanu's release, highlighting that any compliance on Kanu's part would be based on pre-established and mutually agreed upon terms. This insistence on negotiations aligns with previous agreement and the legal strategies employed by Kanu's defense team. The broader political implications of this situation are significant as they touch on the ongoing tensions between the Nigerian government and separatist movements in the southeast. Kanu's case has been a focal point of these tensions, and the conditions of his release are likely to influence future negotiations and relations between the government and IPOB. In summary, while there are ongoing efforts by Southeast senators to negotiate Kanu's release, Ejimako has made it clear that any agreement will be contingent upon specific negotiated terms rather than an unconditional compliance with any government-imposed conditions. This nuanced position reflects reflect the complex legal and political dynamics at play in Kanu's detention and potential release. To my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news, and now before I go, in addition to the news that I've read so far, I believe there's something I like about this man. He's so determined, and he has a solid reasons for being determined. If he listens, he knows if he listens to what to the negotiated part, I mean what the government wants him to do, definitely his people would suffer. He solidly stood by his words, and he keeps suffering for his people. Now I love his action, and these are the kind of people we even need. If we have this kind of man that used to come out and talk to the people, I think by now this country should have been in a better shape. Not the ones that will come out and to some extent they would say something and would still believe them, thinking they would do something right, and it is just called ignorance. So my dear listeners, recall that Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention for the past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken now, and yet no solid judgment has been passed so far. In fact, even all the charges that were against him were not valid. He keeps winning, and yet they didn't release him.